Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Mayday Media. Got some good news here. Uh, Looks like there's some stuff happening. It's bare bones, but it's better than anything, and it's something we need to push and promote and get more of. And it's all about remigration in a sense. I mean, it doesn't really say it, but it's kind of looks like it's getting that way. Is going to be the next thing. Right now is stopping a lot of stuff. If you like this, hit the like button, subscribe, help me out a little bit. I'm going to run through a few of these articles real fast. Um, Important things that they're still pulling the race card, make no mistake. I mean, anything they can do. Supreme Court expands Trump's power over immigration. The court handed President Trump victories in his push to rescind deportation protections for hundreds of thousands of people and turn away migrants at the southern border. Now, this is from this story. Ends deportation protection for Haitians and Syrians, and okay, that we need to start getting rid of a bunch of those real fast. In a pair of sharply divided decisions on Thursday, the Supreme Court allowed Trump's aggressive crackdown on immigration to move forward, permitting the administration to both expel some immigrants from the country and turn away others at the southern border. Thank you. We need we need a bunch more of that. We need gun turrets on the border. Taken together, the court's conservative majority signaled differences to the president's ability to set the nation's immigration policy as justices prepare in the incoming days to issue more rulings that will decide how much power to give Mr. Trump across his boundary-pushing agenda. Well, if it's anything like that, we need to give him some more power. I can say um, that because that's what we want. Let's go down here to this. This is a long article. During oral arguments in April, the court's liberal justices pressed the administration's lawyer about whether the decision to end the program for Haitians was racially motivated. The justices cited the president's false accusations during the 2024 campaign that Haitians in Springfield, Ohio, ate their neighbors' pets. And they did eat their neighbors' pets. It was all over the news. Mr. Trump's comments in December about Haitians immigrants being undesirable because they come from filthy, dirty, disgusting country. That is true. We've seen the cannibalism over there. You don't want anything like that in your country. There's a there was something else that could have been done, and we could have just given their neighbors and just kind of like armed them up a little bit and pretty much been like, hey, we're willing to just turn off the news for a little while. You know what I mean? Like I'm sorry to say that, I really am, but I mean, fuck. That's a nice little. Haiti's a nice little area. You can do a lot with Haiti. I mean, you could grow, you could build. You got ports, you got the sea. I mean, you can do quite a bit, really. John Saucer, the Solicitor General, who said those statements were unilluminating and were references to poverty and crime rather than race. Yeah. Federal law, he said, makes clear that the courts cannot second guess the government's decision to extend or end the protections. Well, when we're going on this, you look at these countries that are, predominantly black, and I mean, man, they're stripped clean. I've seen the videos of them. I might do a video where they show the before and after of these places after the white man had left, and I mean, you can't even tell it. You had to use certain landmarks to tell what was there before. It is wild, and you get too much of that in this country, and it's a bad thing. Lower court judges, however, sided with the Haitians and Syrians, finding that the secretary's process was subject to court review and that her decisions had been preordained and not based on meaningful analysis. The judges postponed the determinations, prompting the government's lawyers to ask the Supreme Court to intervene. Well, we knew the answer on that one now, don't we? Supreme Court expands Trump's powers. Isn't that funny? Okay, well, on the next one here. Migrants not entitled to apply for asylum while standing on Mexico's side of the border, Supreme Court rules. Yes. Very much so. This is pretty much the same thing. A 6-3 decision clears the way for Trump to resume policy that allows agents posted at the border to turn back asylum seekers before they enter the country. The case hinged on how to interpret immigration laws and say that non-citizens who arrived in the citizen must be allowed to apply for asylum. So what they're trying to do is keep them from even getting in before they can even apply for asylum, because then you have to go through all this bullshit. And then what do you find out? They're all criminals. They never show up to their asylum date. They just run to their slums and start gangs and stuff, and that's about it. The consequences of today's decisions are predictable. More people will die, she wrote. More people will attempt to cross the border illegally, and some will make it while others will not. Well, you know what? Stay in your own countries. I mean, you know, other species have built up countries out of nothing. I mean, it's not like you're not capable of this unless you're just not capable of it. And then, I don't know. I mean, you got to police your people, I think, for one, and that'll help you right there. If you got to be agrarian, be agrarian. In an unusual reply from the bench, Alito, one of the court's most conservative members, said he was unaware if Sotomayor was going to deliver a dissent from the bench, and indicated he would have included more in the reading of his opinion if he had known about it. Alito's statement could indicate possible discord, or at least the lack of communication between justice and the term winds down. The decision immediately preceded another high court ruling that could allow the government to deport hundreds of thousands of people starting this year. Federal law stipulates that people may seek asylum if they fear persecution based on reasons including opinion, race and religion, and war, but most of these are not coming from those types of countries. Most of them are just coming from destroyed by their own people country, and they won't do nothing for their own people. Supreme Court clears way for Trump administration to revive restrictive policy for asylum seekers. This is also on the same deal. Here's one here. We'll check this one out here. Oh wait, fuck, wrong one. Alito testy. Okay. Alito appears testy during Sotomayor's asylum dissent, reading from the bench. So Alito responded tersely to Justice Sotomayor on this morning after the liberal justice read her blistering dissent to his majority opinion in the case of the asylum seekers. Alito briefly read the majority position. So I guess he wasn't happy with what she said. Alito softly cleared his throat before issuing a rare off-the-cuff response to a dissent. The conservative justice appeared testy as he said that there was much more that he would have added if he'd known that Sotomayor would read her dissent aloud in full. It is not regular practice for justice to read dissenting opinions from the bench. So does that mean he was going to read out his dissenting opinions, or he was going to read out more positive, conservative opinions? I'm thinking more conservative opinions, but I don't know. Doesn't really clarify. I bet it was in one of the other articles. These motherfuckers are 6 pages long. Anywho, this is a good sign, guys. I mean, this is a plus. If you can, like this video, help get it out, or do your own video on it, because this is important. I mean, maybe next we'll be getting the R gang reports in America. Huh? What do you think? Anyway, appreciate you. Bye.